So yesterday on March 5th, 2024, at 9:46 a.m., Brendan Schaub tweeted, "Zero issues with Dana White. Love the guy and what he's built. Days of being mad at anyone are long gone." 58 views with 2 likes. I mean, what a fake. This is a guy you never want as a friend. All the shit he's talked about Dana White and the UFC. I'm telling you, stupid games win you stupid prizes. If Brendan Schaub ever says, "Love the guy, talked to him last week," that means he absolutely hates you and prays for your demise. That means he also hates Papa Toe. Joe Rogan himself, I know, dicey, because Baba always says, "I love the guy. I talk to him every day," when he refers to Papa Toe Rogan. I think part of him does hate Joe Rogan. Brendan is pushed out of the inner circle, replaced by Protect Our Parks and Sober October. Schaub thinks he is better and funnier than all these people. If Brendan ever gets fully cut out, he might go on a big rant on Joe Rogan as well. He showed a blimp of it with the "needs a handler" comment. I think under the surface, Brendan hates him. Joe Rogan humiliated him on the biggest podcast in the world and basically told him he sucks at fighting and should give up on his dream, and then gave him a bullshit new dream that was never gonna work, and then dropped him from the team because he now looks like an idiot instead of a respected UFC fighter. Ain't saying Brendan would be peachy because he effed up too, but Rogan really set him up for failure. Yeah, Brendan is a dickhead, a liar, and a total fake, but Joe Rogan really was a piece of shit for that move. If Joe really felt bad for Brendan, he could have talked to him in private and told him his concerns. Where's this same energy Joe has for Tony Ferguson, Chris Weidman, and any other fighter who went on a long losing streak? And let's face it was never about Brendan. It was always about Joe Rogan and his eternal urge to be right about everything. The dude was a fighter, let him fight. Everyone loses. I think Schaub would have most of the stuff he's after now with way less ego and baggage and low-key trauma if Joe Rogan just let him play his career out. Brendan would have respect as a fighter and people wouldn't laugh so hard at his knockouts. Then he'd be able to slot into the actual goofy ex-professional kind of role, which was his real personality, and not the new Richard Pryor like Joe seemed to think. But no one would know Brendan Schaub's name if it wasn't for Joe Rogan. Joe gave him a lift up and Brendan shit the bed so many times. To be really fair, we shouldn't even know his name. Papa's a effing dickhead and has little talent. But you know, he could still have his podcast and move into the punditry thing he seems to want to do now without the 10-year comedy crusade that basically ruined his life. The only reason for that comedy crusade is the comedy crusader himself, Joe Rogan. Papa's fake as hell. He just goes. Dana White is someone who holds a grudge for life. Once someone crosses him and talks shit about him, it's over. Especially for as long as Brendan Schaub has, and the content he made about it. That doesn't get swept under the rug ever. Especially when he has nothing to gain by patching things up with Brendan. And the thing is, Brendan's not even a thought in Dana White's brain though. Someone would have to remind him who Brendan Schaub is, and then he'd be like, "Oh yeah, that dumbass," and then continue on with his life. We got a former UFC fighter and comedian not welcome to any UFC events, or even the comedy mothership owned by his pal Joe Rogan. We got a problem. Papa's so effing desperate to be in with the UFC. It's killing him that Theo Vaughn, Shane Gillis, and even Brian Callen get to hang around Joe Rogan and he doesn't. And I pretty much know Dana White doesn't care. Schaub only started trying to get back on Dana White's good side after seeing how well Theo Vaughn has been treated by the UFC. Where was all this love for Dana White when he was doing stuff for Showtime? It's incredibly pathetic. Brendan started growing a mullet and pretended to be blue collar by wearing a Bass Pro Shop hat just so Dana White can give him cage side seats like Theo Vaughn. Papa was on commentary at his shitty event named the Game Bred Bare Knuckles MMA, and now he's kissing Dana White's ass, trying to get on his good side, hoping maybe just one day he would be hired to commentate for the UFC next to his good old pal Joe Rogan. What an oaf. And just in case y'all forgot, here's Brendan Schaub having zero issues with Dana White. Check it out.
"I don't need a handler. These guys need a handler. Somebody should have gotten the ear of Dana and Mark Zuckerberg and went, hey, you two rich, privileged fucks, come over here. Let me tell you something. Somebody should have done this at UFC Institute. Hey, you two rich, privileged fucks. Come here. Let me talk to you. Again, I need a handler. They need a handler.
Anyhow, let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below, because that's what truly matters, even though we don't matter. But hey, do me a big favor, guys. Hit that like button and the subscribe on your way out. Also, push the notification bell as well. I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Man, you guys are awesome. I'll see all of you in the next video.
Like, but the Balenciaga one, Jesus Christ.